win is a win is a win. In the NFL, it's always hard to win. We talked about that last hour with our picks and stuff like that. But I'm going to start with something, and I know that maybe Cowboy fans are a little bit concerned about this, is the Cowboys' run defense yesterday. And in my notes, I used words like late, driven, sealed, angled, hooked, washed, hesitation, guessing, miss, and pancaked. Those were all words I used when I was going through and looking through the Cowboys' run defense yesterday. Gain of 13, gain of 7, gain of 15, gain of 9, gain of 14, gain of 5, gain of 14, gain of 8. You have some big running plays yesterday. And a lot of it had to do with those words that I used. When this defense plays the run well, they play square along the line. They don't get pushed. They don't get turned. They fill. They don't guess. They don't run behind blocks. Carolina can't run the ball. They ran the ball yesterday, though. Carolina, if you look at the teams that have played them the year, Carolina averaged less than 4 yards a carry.
Yikes.
Coming into this game. Yesterday, they put it on you pretty good. And yeah. I think that's, on the flip side of this, I could talk about the positivity of the Cowboys running game and what they were able to do.
That was good.
That was good from that point. But
you shouldn't be giving up games like this to a team that bad, but it happens. No. And it's just a reminder that you're not great at it because you're not built for it, especially with Leighton Vander Esch not in there. Yeah. Overall, you're built to stop the pass. And on top of that, sometimes your players go for the glory instead of their assignment. It sucks when you're up against teams that should not be able to do that against you, and they are. But I think these are the things that we should be more honest with ourselves about,
right?
Especially when it's against such a bad team.
Yeah, that's the thing that was concerning to me just coming into the game. I felt like that they would be able to really eliminate this Carolina running game, just eliminate it, and then force. And we saw what happened when Carolina went back to pass. That was a disaster for them. The sacks. I mean, the Cowboys up front, what Micah and what Tank and those guys were able to do. Bozeman, the center, he was so bad in that game yesterday, and it was really unselfish the way that those defensive linemen played, getting after the passer. I mean, how they helped each other, picks and just physical play.
Yeah,
that how they helped each other get sacks. And that's if you're playing against the Cowboys, honestly don't know. And I know you get behind in games, you might have to. I felt like Carolina could have stayed in that game. They were going to probably lose. But if they would have done the plan of just trying to find ways to get the ball to Thielen on third down
or fourth
down and run the ball, they probably could have hung into that game a little bit better. But Dallas, and I'm surprised they completely stopped running the ball. That Carolina did, because it was at times very hard to watch.
I mean, when it goes 17-10, if the Cowboys don't march the field and score there, I think Carolina keeps running the football. The game could have got very interesting.
It could have got very interesting there. Just want to give you just an example of something that happens. When you and this was not a really good game, and I'm not just singling the guy out, but Mozzie Smith did not play his best football yesterday.
Yeah, from what I saw, Mozzie Smith was getting turned quite a bit. Hankins getting blown off the ball and turned. Osa had his moments. I mean, the interior of the defensive line, I felt like, was a big part of your run defense issues.
They give up a gain on 15, and I just want to point out this one, and then we'll talk about the Cowboys running game on the flip side of this. But again, they give up a gain of 15 to Sanders, and the ball's going to right inside is where it's going. And you get Sam Williams gets cut off by tight end Trimmel. Bell gambles and shoots the A gap, but ends up in the C. The ball ends up in the C. So he's completely 2 gaps away from getting to the ball. Hankins gets washed, as you mentioned, Eric, leaving a big gap for Curse to have to deal with. So there's a slight hesitation by Curse, thinking that Young might pull the ball and run. But no, I mean, and so now the hesitation causes Sanders just to run and explode through the hole before he's able to really make the tackle. So there's those words again I was talking about: gambling, washed, hesitation. Those things, were a problem. When the Cowboys are bad, those are the things they have to deal with. But they had several of these things where Mozzie laid off the ball. Armstrong gets hooked. Clark and Wilson give up ground. Hankins working down the line in position for tackle, but Hubbard cuts back and causes him to overrun the play. Gain of 7 right there.
Man, that Deron Bland pick 6 really hit the perfume all over the game.
It really, if you're,
yeah,
it's one of those things where if you're a Cowboy fan, you thought maybe you had some of these things taken care of, but when you play bad run defense, these are the things that happen to the Cowboys. Those are the things. Those are the examples. Now, on the flip side of that, when you look at the Cowboys and their ability to run the ball, these Cowboy wide receivers did a hell of a job of blocking yesterday for you on the outside.
Nice,
because there were times where they were required to be on the outside and make sure they were squared up here. Pollard's gain of 9. One of his carries, we had to gain him 9. Excellent job across the board. They get double teams on the front side with Broaddus. By the way, Broaddus played really well in this game. Broaddus and Martin. They get a double team from him. Pollard gets a block from Gallup inside. Tyron Smith, Lamb all get cutoff blocks on the backside. Here you go. Pollard's now pressing the hole. Then he cuts to the middle behind the block of Tyler Smith. He sees it. Great gain. 6 in the box there. Perfect time to run the football. They get everybody blocked, and now what do you get? Gain of 9. That's what you got to have right there, running the football. Here at gain of 22, Pollard. This thing turns into flip right. They just flip the ball outside to the right side. Ferguson seals Burns to the inside. Steele gets the pull. It's really like a crack toss, but they flip it. Burns gets sealed inside. Steele pulls to the outside. Deion Jones is flying to the outside to try and make the play to turn the ball back inside. Steele adjusts on Jackson. He's going after Jackson, but he adjusts so he gets Jones and Jackson all with the same block.
That was epic.
Both defenders on the ground. Broaddus and Tyler Smith are now up the field. So they're now, they don't worry about anything to the outside. They're now up the field blocking. So Pollard does a good job allowing those blocks. Remember we talked about Pollard a little bit being a little too anxious.
That's right.
You see him on the end zone copy, slows up a little bit, allows those two guys to get in front, and now he's up the sideline right there. Again, 6 in the box, gain of 22 right there for your Cowboys. The Wildcat stuff I thought was garbage. And that loss Pollard's going to have a nice day running. He gets a loss of 10 on that. That
little reverse deal.
Yeah, that Wildcat stuff is not good.
Where are you at of trying to try new stuff versus bad teams, or just keep that stuff in your pocket?
Just keep the stuff in your pocket.
Okay.
Just go play football. You're doing a good job of running the football. His touchdown run was really an impressive.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It was a great job by him.
Refused to be denied.
Exactly. 21 yards. This is another excellent job by Broaddus and Martin to create a crease. Steele on the backside gets a cut. He eliminates Derek Brown completely from the play. There you go. Now you got a double team, and you're eliminating one of their better defensive linemen. Pollard's now he's going to hit the second level. He's going to run through arm tackles. 2 different arm tackles he runs. And then he overruns Woods to get into the end zone. Hunter Lipke actually is a fullback on that play. It's not perfect how he blocked, but he managed to keep himself between Luvo and then also the ball right there. So he's able to keep himself. It's not a pretty block at all, but he manages to position himself well enough, and that just gives Pollard the opportunity to run through the final Woods tackle right there. Great effort. 6 in the box again, but 21-yard touchdown.
Yeah, first touchdown since week 1 for him.
All these things we're talking about is with the Cowboys, it's about combination blocks. It's about getting backside blocks when you want to run the football. Early in the season, we hadn't seen that. We had seen guys miss on the front side. We'd seen guys get overpowered. We had seen guys not getting any push. We hadn't seen combination blocks where it's, hip to hip, pushing a guy, and then getting to the second level. We haven't seen those things. That's how they're running the ball. And Pollard did a great job yesterday of the vision, patience, but also showing a little bit of explosiveness of getting to and through the hole that we've been missing from him. So it was a really nice job of the overall, the way that they ran that football. And
not a bad Panthers run defense, right?
Not a bad one. Yeah. No, but they
have a good day to do that.
There was a couple of guys that they had to deal with on that. They did a nice job of running that Brian Burns.
Well,
that's a good job.
Yeah. Hey, man, that guy is tough.
I mean, he's a good pass rusher, but they figured out he can't play run defense.
Nice. So good scouting.
There we go.
Tony Pollard, 12 carries, Rico 8. Mike McCarthy told us last week, Chief, that they would just see how the game went. Yeah. And I think that's probably the right way to do it. You know, Dowdle's under 3 per attempt. He's not finding the holes. Pollard was. And I say you just ride the hot hand. Who's ever hotter in the first half, we're coming back to you with more in the second.
Pollard looked good in the line and the tight ends, and the receivers helped him in this game for sure.
Boy, it is amazing how you can have a player, and this player was good, struggling. In baseball, you're like, why don't you take one game on the bench? In football, you're like, yeah, we might start the backup. The next thing you know, the guy is on fire. It gets your attention and changes your energy in a big way. And hopefully that is a huge turning point for Tony the rest of the way through.
Hopefully for the whole running game, the way they blocked yesterday.
I mean, if they get the running game going, I think I would be willing to reconsider the chances of the Cowboys making it all the way home.